Wait, hold on. Are you telling me you have interest in being a casting director in 2026? Yo, that is so awesome. Anyway, you should give up because you are no longer needed. And luckily for the shareholders, the studio heads have one less department to pay and operate because we have been blessed by geniuses on the internet with the job of choosing actors for upcoming movies. Okay, I'm being over the top. I actually don't have a problem with fan casting, but internet fan casting is sometimes just so absurd that it teeters on self-parody. Like, who needs auditions and scouting and casting directors when you have talent like Tom Holland, Timothée Chalamet, Bryan Cranston, Tom Holland, Like, do you guys know that there's more than like 5 actors in existence? Well, if you're a regular on film Twitter, then no, you don't. Every time a new movie gets announced, we get like the same couple people mentioned for each role. And when it's a comic book movie or like a franchise IP, it's like way worse. At this point, that Ryan Gosling Black Panther meme is getting less satirical by the minute. And hey, honestly, if Doomsday flops, we might actually see it. I mean, with the state Marvel is in right now, you just never know. But when it comes to internet fan casting, there's a couple of different types of like tropes, I'll call them. First, you got like just the straight up lazy ones. That's like the epitome of the Tom Holland insanity. Like, you guys got this dude working overtime, okay? To the point where it's actually like a pretty popular meme to say that Tom Holland should be literally everyone. From Ben 10 to Link in Zelda, basically any dude that comes from fiction, Tom Holland is our guy. So yeah, just lazy. After that, you got the lookalike equals perfect casting trope. Third, you got the typecast, where it's like if you play a character very well one time, all of a sudden you're perfect for anything similar to that character. The people that get this treatment are like Anthony Starr, Bryan Cranston, Giancarlo Esposito. Except with Giancarlo Esposito, he kind of just does that shit anyway, so you can't really blame the people fan casting him. And finally, the last trope that I'm going to touch on is the, I'll call it, fuck it, just throw everyone in there. If they're a movie star and they're A-list, throw them in. Budget be damned. Oh yeah, speaking about budget, do fan casters know that money exists? Like, yeah, no, dude, you can't just throw in like 8 A-listers into a niche, like not super well-known project. Even in like huge IPs too, you gotta save some money for the actual movie. And with DC starting its new cinematic universe, fan casting is at an all-time high. Also, considering James Gunn announced like a bunch of new projects and there's way more rumored, there are plenty of roles to fill. But pretty unsurprisingly, this does not stop people from selecting a wide variety of actors and actresses. And by wide variety, I mean like 10. And out of the 10, about half of them are just the same actors with like hair dye or something. And while we're on the topic of the DCU, real quick, I just want to talk about DCU Batman. So obviously, if you're watching a video like this, you probably know the DCU is making a new Batman movie at some point, apparently. And besides the extremely popular writer and director team up, the choice for Bruce Wayne Batman has been pretty controversial. At first it was like Jake Gyllenhaal, Alan Richardson, Jensen Ackles, but those guys were more like broad Batman fan cast, just like in general type stuff. But as we move closer to the DCU's Batman movie, 2 names have been brought up most. That's Brendan Sklenar and most recently Paul Anthony Kelly. And genuinely, with no disrespect at all, these guys are just objectively not the most well-known actors. However, if you were to go on Twitter, you would think that these 2 were like the most beloved stars on earth, the way people talk about them. It's like half the people want Brendan Sklenar, half want Paul Anthony Kelly, and none of them want to have a normal conversation about it. Like, how on earth someone could be so emotionally attached to an actor that I would bet lots of money they haven't even seen anything from is so crazy to me. Wait, you guys want this actor for Batman? Obviously this actor is the right choice, you fucking dumb idiot lowlife piece of shit rat bat. Like, bro, chill. Nah, but really, have people forgotten the point of a casting director? Believe it or not, they exist for a reason, and that's because they know what they're doing. They know what to look for. Even the directors of movies themselves, in most cases, take a backseat to the casting director when choosing roles. Obviously, besides like huge main characters like Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman, either way, the director has the ultimate decision, but you know what I mean. And personally, I don't think that the whole look-alike thing always equals a good casting. Like, plenty of people look the part, but that does not mean that they are a good choice. Even if they played a character just like the character they're being fan casted for, it still doesn't make them like the only choice. I think unknown actors are oftentimes like way better. They have something to prove. You can imagine them as the character better because you've never seen them in anything before. Like for example, we've had plenty of great castings where people are famous because they got cast and not the other way around. Like Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. Oh shit, it's just all Spider-Man. Nah, so I know there's more examples probably, but I can't think of any right now. But now I just want to look at some of the fan casts that I've seen on the internet that kind of align with the tropes that I pointed out and give my thoughts on them, because some of them are just atrocious and delusional. And some of them aren't bad. But before I get to the tropes, you know I have to mention one more time the crown jewel of Fancasts. And that is, of course, our buddy Mr. Tom Holland, starring as literally everyone ever. It's actually so bad. Like, I wish I could say every white guy ever, but no, I can't. Now, I have no problem with Tom Holland. He's definitely one of like the most nicest, down-to-earth actors in Hollywood these days. And it's not his fault that he's chosen for all these fan casts, okay? He didn't do anything wrong. But there's other actors that exist. And I think his career is definitely going to be altered, not necessarily negatively, but definitely limited, I think, by the fact that he's playing Spider-Man and will continue to play Spider-Man for the next couple years. But with the Odyssey coming out, maybe he will kind of break through that and prove everyone wrong. I'm rooting for him. I know that. I like him. Before our first trope, we got the lazy one. And for this one, I'm choosing Timothée Chalamet as Harry Osborn. This is not so much as a bad casting, but just like I said, incredibly lazy. Like, these are the type of fan casts that make me say what I said before, which is there's a reason that casting directors exist, because there's a process to this stuff. It's not just like, oh, we need a young male role. Let's just call up arguably the biggest actor in Hollywood right now. He's young. Like, Harry Osborn, to me, should be played by either an unknown or someone just like way out of left field, like someone you would not expect. But yeah, just overall lazy and rather uninspired, if I do say so myself. For the second trope, we have the lookalike equals peak casting trope. Now, this is how we end up with just amazing and uncontroversial castings like John Krasinski as Reed Richards and one of the best ones, which was Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Now, these two casting choices should be all we need as a collective to just slow down with this type of thinking when it comes to choosing roles. Now, I'm genuinely not hating on either of these two, by the way. Like, I think Gal Gadot gets enough hate for just kind of existing, and I kind of feel bad for her. Like, granted, it wasn't a knockout performance by any means as Wonder Woman, but I think it's a little bit overblown, okay? Don't kill me. As for John Krasinski, I don't think it was his fault. I think partly the awkwardness of the scene made it bad. And that stems from the fact that apparently he filmed his scenes opposite a literal fucking tennis ball in a green screen room. Also, the script just wasn't fully cooked, to be honest. Or it was cooked, actually. Like, it felt like there was way too many different people or ideas clashing at once. And it just made the movie just kind of hard to watch. Man, free Sam Raimi from studio interference, bro. This is not right. It sucks to admit it, but I think that this is what would happen to like 95% of fan casts, where it seems great in theory, but in practice it just kind of falls flat on its face. Also, real quick, while making this video, I saw this. Bro, no, I'm not even gonna say what's wrong with this one. Just no, dude. Is Michael B. Jordan a great actor? Yeah, he just won an Oscar. Did the person who made this edit think about this casting for more than like 12 seconds? No, I don't think so. Third is the typecast trope. For this one, I'm gonna go with Anthony Starr as Reverse Flash. Now, I'm not actually against this one, like, kind of at all. Of course, it is the typecast thing, like I said, but if there was anyone who was gonna play a villain in a superhero project who's just like unforgivingly evil and super deranged, the guy who plays Homelander is a pretty good choice. But even then, like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like these things are just like, oh, who could play a villain who's super diabolical? How about the guy who played that villain who was super diabolical? Like, yeah, but how about we also go through a process or something and find an actor who's unique and a really good fit? By the way, I know I'm like way overthinking this. I know that fan casters are not like sitting down in front of candlelight and giving this hours and hours of thought. It's just meant for fun, and it's just whatever comes to people's mind. But You know what I mean. It is a little bit crazy sometimes. All right, last one, we got the Fuck the Budget Fancast. This one was the inspiration for this entire video because I saw this picture on Twitter. Instagram is not a real place. Now, I agree wholeheartedly. This image is literally everything that's funny about fan casting all in one. It's actually kind of beautiful. Like, who needs to make money anyway, right? It's not like that's all that the studio cares about. This is literally all the tropes pushed into one picture. And the Photoshop is just, wow. Chef's kiss, am I right? Didn't I say something about self-parody, right? No, but the thinking here was probably like, okay, so Timothée Chalamet, he's popular. Mark Grayson, he's popular, so that'll work. And then, okay, Omni-Man is a lot like Superman, so yeah, fuck it, let's just throw Superman in there. And then the Immortal, okay, he's based on Wolverine, I think, so let's just get Wolverine. And then Adam Eve, what actress has red hair? Oh, Sadie Sink has red hair. Would she be good for the role, though? I don't know, fuck it, she has red hair, who cares? Okay, in my attempt to be like a hater, I have to say I'm realizing that in a perfect world, this might actually be sick. Like, I'm dogging on it now, but if this happened, I'd be so fucking there in the theater. This is actually kind of peak. Okay, that's all I got for this video. Again, not trying to be the fun police. I know it's just for fun. It's not meant to be taken super seriously. Also, I'd say my criticism is more aimed at the fans who make these fan casts, and then when they don't get their way, they send like death threats to these people. It's like, dude. I also enjoy thinking about who can play who and all that stuff, and I don't give it that much thought when I do it, so let me chill. Actually, as a matter of fact, maybe I should make a fan casting video in honor of this. So, you know, if I talk the talk so I can walk the walk and prove myself as a true fan caster. Or not, because I don't really have anything original, and I also don't really give a shit that much. If you liked anything about this video, subscribe if you want. You don't have to, but have a good one. Peace.